Welcome back to Maximum Potential Schooling. I'm Zane Hoare, and today I'm going to run you through our What's the Worst That Could Happen activity. It's otherwise known as a negative visualization. We spent a lot of time in the Maximum Potential Schooling program looking at positivity through visualization. This is just a different slant on the same process. So you're going to have the same process of really immersing yourself in the situation and using all of your senses to visualize. But we're actually going to look at a negative situation rather than a positive one. And when we go through the steps, you'll see the positive outcome out of that, visualizing that negative situation. And this idea of negative visualization, it actually comes from a school of philosophy called Stoics or Stoicism, which was really popular back in ancient Rome and really popular with sort of emperors and generals and the philosophers of ancient Rome. So it's really steeped in history, this particular strategy. So what we're going to do, the way that you sort of do this, and the form of this video, we're going to talk you through the actual step-by-step of how you would actually go through this negative visualization. So step one is simply to define your fear. So it's to bring to the forefront of your mind that thing that is really scaring you. So if, for example, you're really scared of taking a test, if you have a real fear of test taking, then bring that to mind. You know, imagine yourself in the room, visualize yourself in the room, the smells, the sounds, everything to do with that, so that you're fully immersed in that fear. And that's really step one, is to really sort of engage with the fear. So step two is where this title gets its name. You're now going to imagine, what's the worst thing that could happen? So what's the worst thing that could happen with your fear around test taking, if that's your example? And I guess that's the fear of failure. So you're going to imagine yourself as if you failed. And you're going to imagine that feeling, and you're going to go through that whole visualization, that whole visualize the worst thing that could happen around your fear. Now, this has really two key benefits. One of the really key benefits is, if this worst case scenario ever did actually happen, then you've already been there, you've dealt with it, so it's not the first time it ever happened to you, because you've already done it in your visualization, and that actually sort of gives you a sense of strength if your worst case scenario was ever going to happen. And the second sort of strength out of that you'll see as we come through the steps. So part three is to now be really proactive in visualizing and designing within your mind practical strategies to ensure that this could never happen. Okay, so step one, define the fear, engage, be in the fear. Step two, be in the worst case scenario, the worst thing that could possibly happen for you. Step three, design within your mind practical strategies to make sure that this never happens. Step four is to say to yourself, okay, well, this is happening. It is the worst case scenario. It's all gone pear-shaped. Everything that could go wrong in this situation has gone wrong. How am I now going to deal with it? And that's the second sort of key point for this. I'm in the situation, in my mind, in my visualization, I'm right there in amongst the worst things that could happen. And seeing as I'm in it, what am I going to do? How am I going to handle this situation? So that if it was ever to occur, A, you've already been there in your mind, but B, you've already prepared for how you will handle that situation. And that's putting a real positive on that fear. It's giving you strategies and skills and training to handle that fear if and were it ever actually to come true. Okay? And I guess one of the power of fear is that you never feel like you're in control. With this strategy, it actually gives you some control over your fear. So before the situation you even get to the situation, you've got strategies, you know how you would handle it, you know exactly what it would look like, you've been there, you've done that. So it really gives you a sense of control over your fear. So, earlier in this lesson, in the first part of this lesson when we addressed fear, we asked you to jot down and come up with some fears and to think of at least 5 that you could jot down. What your task now is to take those fears and pick one of them, or pick 2, pick 5, pick 10, whatever it is, but to actually do this visualization with it. Now you can either do the visualization in your mind, Or you can do it written down. And this one kind of works really well written down because A, you're going to engage with it in your mind anyway, but B, you're actually writing down and defining and going into real detail, both in your mind and on the page, around your fear, what it would look like if it all went pear-shaped and that worst case scenario came about, what I could do to make sure that never happened, and what I could do if that happened and how I would handle it. Therefore, giving you ownership of that fear. You actually lessen the fear because when you dig deep into it, you see, well, you know what? I can handle that situation. And if that was to occur, I'm going to be all right with it because I know what to do. I've been proactive in my thinking around it and I've got it covered. Okay, so have a look at your fears. See if you can apply this negative visualization to it. Now, there's a guided visualization as part of this lesson where it's something you can sit and you can listen to that will help guide you through these steps. So when you want to take one of your fears and complete this visualization, you can use the guided visualization to help you with that. Otherwise, you can just sit by yourself, pen and paper, and really sort of immerse yourself in it. Get through the negative so that you're getting that positive outcome at the end. Good luck and train hard.